Welcome mermaids to our first lunch special here. We have a shrimp Caesar salad. So I have shrimp that has defrosted and is just sitting in the sink right now getting ready to be prepared. This is an extra large version. I would even say if it's easier for you to cut it apart into smaller pieces, or if you'd like to use a medium style shrimp, that's actually what I prefer. Again, I am cooking in my mom's kitchen, so I'm using what she has available to her, and this is how you can modify or just substitute different resources that you have available to your specific kitchen. So I've already cut up some lettuce here in preparation. I ended up preheating the oven to 325 degrees. That way the 5 ounces of loaf bread can go ahead and get cut up and toasted just like croutons. And while those are toasting, I'll go ahead and finish cutting up the rest of these. So let's get the bread first. I'll finish cutting this since I was just doing this while preparing, and then we'll get started with our croutons. So working on our bread, we're just gonna cut this up in maybe 1-inch cubes. Nice easy chunks here. So I'm gonna cut up the bread. I'm recognizing just how much easier this would be with a bread knife. So let's finish out these last bits. Okay, so now that the bread is ready, we'll go ahead and put this onto a baking sheet. Make sure that it's lined, and also drizzle on that olive oil, some salt and pepper. Be good to go. All right, time to enter in our croutons. Looking great. All right, so while the croutons are toasting in the oven, we're gonna go ahead and get started with this. All right, so we will start by adding, for our anchovy paste, we're just gonna do 1 teaspoon. Fill this up to 1 teaspoon. I don't know if anybody else craves or likes anchovies. It's not my personal favorite, but I think I can have it on pizza and I guess in a Caesar salad. So, okay, so we'll use 1/4 cup of olive oil, which is about 60 fluid ounces, 60 fluid ml. All right, so we poured in our olive oil, grated cheese is already in here. I'm gonna add another 1/4 cup of water. Just about right here. Now it asks for about 4 tablespoons of lemon juice, which is about 1/3 cup. And try to be cautious of the seeds if you have any. You don't really wanna be serving yourself seeds. But it's nice to have fresh lemon juice. So I feel like lemon juice could be a preference to each their own. If you like to be a little bit more on the citrusy side, go for it. If you like lemons, go for it. If you just want it for flavor, probably 1 to 2 lemons is pretty good. Now, I'm just gonna whisk this together already in itself. Very nice. And then just make sure you get all the cheese out. So let's go ahead and add in our cracked pepper. Pink Himalayan sea salt. Now, I usually add these at the end, but of course I already in my head was like, hey, don't forget the mustard and don't forget the garlic. So those are a couple things that I have in the fridge. I'm gonna make sure that I pull them out and add them. All right, so for our, and 1/2 cup of plain non-fat Greek yogurt. Okay, so we want about 4 ounces of this. It's kind of like sour cream, but I do like the fact that this is loaded with protein and a lot healthier for you. So the Dijon, I believe we just need 2 teaspoons. Let me guess, right here. That's about 1. That's about 2. Now again, I'm just guesstimating on these things, but to me, you can't really go wrong with too much flavor. So I'm just giving myself about what 2 garlic cloves would be. So nice 2 heaping tablespoons, or well, yeah, about tablespoonful. So again, you can always throw this in a blender if you want it to be thoroughly combined or thoroughly mixed, but this is a pretty great dressing on its own. Then I'm gonna load this up into a jar. So this is what I usually pour for this Caesar salad dressing. And just divvy it in here. And then we'll try serving today with it all. Now our croutons look just about ready. Oh yeah. Look at that beautiful golden brown color that they have on them now. Now I seasoned them with some salt and pepper. Like I said, drizzled a little bit of olive oil on them, and that's really all you need. You could maybe even add a little bit of rosemary to it, but these look fantastic. All right, so our salad. All right, so with our last tablespoon of olive oil, we're gonna go ahead and add this to a heat. Swirl this pan a little bit. Make sure it's all good to go. Then we'll add in our shrimp. I'm just gonna use the bowl to shimmy it around. You can always use a spatula. All right, so while the shrimp is cooking, I'm gonna go ahead and place these into 5 individual containers. So we have 5 salads that we can serve up. Now, the amount of lettuce depends to each their own. Just make sure you have enough room for your toppings. I'm excited for those croutons. Just gonna go ahead and put in a handful of some cherry tomatoes in each. Alrighty, now the croutons. So this is what I'm most excited for. Let's check this out. I'm gonna put the croutons on here. And I think what I'll do is I'll even put the shrimp off to the side just so that way the shrimp flavoring doesn't seep into the lettuce. Alright, voila. Alright, so it looks like the shrimp is ready to be flipped here. Just gonna add some pepper to this side. Same thing to the other side while it's cooking. Now shrimp tends to hold a little bit of water in it, so just be mindful. And then we'll go ahead and flip it over to the other side. Looking for that pink and white color. They're gonna start curling into a C shape. Perfect, we're looking for a little bit of that golden brown flavoring, golden brown coloring and flavoring with it as well. So these look amazing to start out. Just gonna give them another minute or 2 and then we'll finish out. All right, so the shrimp came out beautifully and I decided I'm actually hungry. I'm probably gonna eat one of these lunches myself. So like I said, I'm gonna just separate the shrimp in here. Maybe go about 4 or 5 pieces each. See how we end up with it all. All right, so these are basically prepped and ready. And I'm just gonna add some dressing to this. Salt and pepper. Honestly, these could all use a little bit more. Don't these look delicious? I'm so excited to try. So let's go ahead and dig in. Let's make sure we get a grape tomato in there. Nice crouton and a shrimp. And let's call this one big bite. That dressing is amazing. It tastes super fresh. You can still feel the heat of the shrimp, which
I'm sure when these are packaged, they probably won't have that same heat, but I love the way that the flavors, the seasoning, all of it comes out. You can really taste the olive oil, the lemon juice, even a little bit of that mustardy anchovy taste that makes a Caesar salad. So this is fantastic. I'm super excited. I'm gonna go enjoy this lunch and then prep these up and hopefully you get to do the same.